right. Welcome, everybody. So friends, attendees coming in here. Welcome. As you guys are coming in, throw in the chat what part of the country you are from. So throw it in the chat as we're waiting for a few friends here, and we'll get rolling. So Central Florida, nice. I used to live there. Totally get the Central Florida vibes. Chicago, Gaines, Vegas, Georgia. All right, Skyline. Love those guys. What's up, guys? Welcome. Seattle, Aloha. Yeah, or it's Aloha, not Ola. So yeah, Maryland, Dayton, Cincinnati area. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the webinar. Orange County, OC. What up? Good to see you. Who dat? Louisiana, Winnipeg. Some Canadians in the house.
Got some Saints fans.
Yeah. Good. Drop in where you're from. Oklahoma. Oh, I'm an ORU alum over here. Tulsa. Good. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Rick. Austin. Love it. Matt from Indy. Austin Chiluk. Allen from Vegas. Todd from Arkansas. Good to see you. What's up, David Creighton in the house? Glad you're here.
My dude.
What up? Great to see you guys coming in. Yeah, if you are just joining us, tell us where you're from, and we're going to get started here. So, yeah, let's get rolling. Yeah, Chris, you feeling ready?
Oh, I'm ready, Ryan. Let's do this.
Ready to blow these people's minds here on how they can double their closing ratio?
Oh yeah, and work less while doing it.
And work less. Is that a dream or is that reality?
Is this real life?
Is this real? Pinching myself. So if you guys, what's up, Ammon in the house? Good to see you. 9 Square. Oh yeah, love seeing you guys in here. Do me a little solid before we get started. Be honest. What's your closing ratio as an individual or as a company? If you want to throw that in, I'd love to hear, love to see. You can put it privately if you want. All right. You're here to get better. So this is what it's all about. All right. Okay. Some honesty here. Good. David is an STG client. That's why it's up there, by the way. Good. Okay. Love it. Awesome. As you guys are doing that, we have new friends coming in. We're going to get started. So Chris, glad you're here with us. This is our first webinar together and it won't be the last. So I'm glad you're with me today. And as we talk about to the contracting audience, the retail audience, how they can double their closing ratio. So we're going to get rolling. Here's what you're in for in today's training. Here's where we're headed. So we're going to talk about how to increase sales while working less. Yeah, we talked about that already. How to increase sales by working less. And how to make sure 97% or more of your sales appointments are pre-qualified. We're going to talk about that.
Before you show up.
And number 3, we're going to talk about how to move the sale forward, even if only one homeowner is present. And then how to get out of the endless follow-up trap that kills momentum. So look, strap in, guys. Put your seatbelts on, put your cell phones down, and let's focus and let's get some value. This is incredible value today, free webinar. All right, so let's get rolling here. Chris, take it away. How's this whole thing come about?
Awesome. All right. So I don't know about a lot of you, but I didn't necessarily grow up wanting to be a construction professional, wanting to be a sales professional in the construction space. You know, I was a young man trying to find my way in life. I dropped out of high school, went to college, dropped out of college. You know, if I'm being honest, battled some substance abuse, didn't really know where I was going in life. And then I kind of stumbled into sales. I found it by accident, and I'm really lucky that I did. But early on, doing tons of appointments week after week, wasn't able to close. Everyone's telling me, sales, this is a great career. It's going to change your life. I'm like, yeah, I'm not seeing it. I had to go to a coach. I had to get some coaching. I had to really figure out the process. And then let's go to the next slide here, Ryan. So through coaching, right, and the hard knocks and the experience, I was able to learn the craft of the sale, how to connect, what actually mattered in a sales process, right? Like, what do I need to do? What do I not need to do? Ended up becoming a rock star. You see a picture of me there getting a big sales award on stage in front of hundreds of people. So I thought I knew everything. It was great. I got promoted and then I got my ass kicked. when I was trying to teach other people how to do it. In fact, my first year as a sales leader, I had a historically low close rate. I mean, I'm talking like 13% team-wide close rate. It was brutal. And so at that point, I went back to my coaches and I said, I need a system. I need something that's repeatable that I can teach to other people so they can close like me. So, I started way back in the day. I was working for a student painting company, literally the simplest, most basic construction you can imagine. But I got the foundation. I learned those core concepts. At that company, I got promoted a bunch of times. Along the way, I got a bunch of awards. And, those years working with homeowners were really important to me because I actually, during that time, I learned the residential market and I really got a love of the residential market. So all of you today are here to talk about residential. That's what I grew up in. That's what I'm passionate about. It started back then. But, you can't work at a student painting company forever, right? So at some point it came time to graduate and I was pretty nervous. I was like, hey, I was in this franchise company. I had coaching, I had structure. Now I'm going out on my own. What am I going to do? And I realized it's all the same stuff, guys. It's all the same stuff. It doesn't change. The dollars may get bigger, but homeowners are homeowners and construction sales is construction sales. So while I was able to develop these skills and get more into it, it all just kept building and building and building from a humble base to years and years and years in the market. So now, after being in this market for over a decade, I consistently close at least 50 to 60% in highly competitive markets. I saw somebody put in one of the chat. I think they said their insurance close rate was 70%, but their retail close rate is 20%. And that's common for a lot of people. But what I'm able to do now, what we can teach you is how to get your close rate to 50 to 60% easily. We have a clear process. We have defined strategy. And now with that process and working with STG, we use this system to teach dozens of companies nationwide, really North America wide. There's a bunch of Canadians we work with as well. We add millions of dollars of sales onto businesses every year. And the most important part about this, is we have these incredible results while also maintaining work-life balance and actually having time off to enjoy all the success that we're creating.
Yeah, so there's like different levels, right? And you may be in a position where you're a sales rep or an owner doing all the sales, or have a sales team that's underperforming, and maybe you're too reliant on insurance. Maybe you're in retail fully if you're not in roofing, but in other trades like painting or other types of construction sales, and you're here because you want to increase that closing rate. And so what's crazy is that Chris has not only been able to do that, lead teams and increase his close rate, but also have an excellent work-life balance. Because I don't know about you, but you're having to show up every day in homes. And the better version you are of yourself, the more rested, more at peace, and more excited, and more confident, the more abundant you are, the more successful you are on the inside, on the outside, the more it just kind of propagates and builds more and more success, right? So it's like you're a living example of what's possible for everybody here on the webinar if they start to take some certain steps. So we're excited to kind of teach some of that today. So imagine if you had a blueprint that was a clearly defined sales process. Now, sales process, there's different ways to skin it, right? But imagine if you had a blueprint that is a clearly defined sales process to get you double your closing ratio. Had a team that you could fully delegate sales to and not have to worry about is the deal closed or not. You had predictability in your revenue for growth to be able to say, here's our goal, and smash the goal. And then your sales reps to know that they have a goal attached to their personal income goals, and then they smash that goal. And you had a system and a process that's proven. You could escape this trap of being in your business and not having to worry about all the sales call, handling the sales calls yourself. You could scale if you want. Now, not everybody wants that, right? But bottom line, if you have a small, lean operation, or you have a large scaling operation that's going global, you having a sales process that you can lean on and put the pressure on is worth so much money. Whether it's your life, your time with your children, your time doing other things, or your ability to reinvest time and energy and resources into a team to scale. Imagine to have that, right? you can grow and train your team automatically. So some common objections to why most retail contractors can't double their closing ratio. Okay, so here's one. Tell me, Chris, if you used to have these objections in your brain. Oh, my market's super price competitive.
Oh yeah, that's like number one objection, right? Like, oh no, I can't sell value. Everyone's competing on price. I got to be the lowest bid.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada.
Hard to sell value. We tried stuff like sales training already, right? We tried XYZ trainer. We tried so and so university. We tried it. Didn't work, right? I don't have the time to make major changes. Got no time. Insurance works easier. I'll just do that.
Oh my
God. My guys can't do it. My guys can never close that. I need better guys, right? What are some other objections that people have in their mind where they can't? I have one before you answer, Chris. Is I spent all this money on marketing. I don't want to not run the lead, not run every single lead because it's I pay for those leads, so they got to run those leads.
Right? Oh yeah, or the high performing business owner who's like, hey, I have a super high close rate, and my guys are never going to be able to close as good as me. I have to do the sales because nobody can do it as good as me. We hear that.
Or our customers in our market, they always get 5 bids, 4 to 5 bids. So I can't. There's no way I can close 50% of them.
Oh yeah, or the insurance one is the one that cracks me up. Oh, insurance is easier. We'll just do that. You're leaving meat on the bone, man. Leaving meat on the bone.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, David. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, really good. So what I'm saying is it's possible. And in you and your mind and your team, there's a limiting belief that you might be holding on to that's sabotaging you, right? So we want to just eradicate that and say, look, 50% of your appointments you show up to close is possible. Okay, that's a possibility. So if you fall into any of these categories, we're going to show you by the end of the day why none of those things are true and you could still find success in the retail market. Now, these results that we're going to talk about, they're not typical. They're going to vary from ours will vary from yours. Everybody, at the end of the day, it's, we can give you the system and process, but someone's still going to drive the thing. I'd rather bet on the jockey than the horse, right? So you still got to execute and do the work, but what we're going to teach you is going to get you moving, right? So Chris, quick intro.
Yeah, awesome. So a little bit more about me. I've personally sold and produced millions of dollars in the residential retail market. I coach teams every year that are responsible for millions of more. In fact, I even still run my own construction business on the side when I'm not coaching people here in my home market in Seattle. And I walk the walk, right? We talk about work-life balance. In the last couple of years, I've hit some pretty crazy personal fitness goals that I never thought possible because I was able to put the time in and still have success in the business. And on top of that, I have tons of time with my family. And that was something early on in my career I never got. I never got that time with my family because I was always working. And I had to learn that balance where I could be uber successful and still have all that family time.
Yeah. And that's why Chris has joined STG, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. If you don't know me, host of these webinars and visionary of STG, we're all about transformation of the individual first, the teams that they're a part of and they lead, the clients you help, and the industry we serve. That's what we're all about. My family was in the contracting business. I decided to try a stab at baseball, collegially, professionally, play professionally. And then as I came into the industry,
he's pretty good, actually. He's humble, but he's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm playing men's league ball. I'm having fun. But basically broke into construction sales, starting commercial roofing, and then 2013 launched a CRM simultaneously, and saw the opportunity for the industry to disrupt construction as it stands today and turn it on its head, make it attractive, help build sales organizations that are tech savvy, proactive, growth minded, holistic, and fun to be a part of. So my mission is to make this industry so dang attractive. Everybody wants to be a part of this. And that's what I'm here to do. And that's what we're all about. So we're working with, upwards of 600 contractors nationwide and growing, and we're excited and hope that you can consider joining us. So this training is for contractors who sell to homeowners. This is a homeowner who pay with their own money. This is not insurance. This is residential retail. You want to increase your close rate. You want the best performance from your sales team. You want excellent work-life balance. You want to increase your average job size as well. You want more referrals from existing clients and want more profitability and predictability in your sales process. Okay, so if that's you, give me a quick yes, that's for me. Give me, that's what I'm looking for. Drop it in the chat if you have something, and that'd be great. Who this is not for, okay? This is not for contractors who treat their customers like in a disposable way. This industry is changing way too fast. You guys better get, this is not for you if that's you, okay? Business owners who want to keep doing the same old things. You're gonna have to drop that and jump off the webinar if that's for you, if you're not willing to change. If you're content with mediocre sales performance, you're gonna just jump off now. People who like working super long hours for average results. Anyone's looking to get rich quick, this is not for you. This is not for you if you think that there's some magic bullet that's going to solve all your business problems. We know that it's a compound effect of multiple iterations around your organization, okay? And contractors would rather cut corners and save a buck versus deliver quality work. It's not for you. So here's what we're going to cover. How to increase your sales while working less. How to drive forward the sale even if only one homeowner is present. And how to get out of the endless follow-up trap that kills momentum. All right, good. So still here, awesome. Thank you. Glad you're here. We're going to get moving and transition into the meeting of the training now. So part one, Chris, take it away. How to increase your sales while working less.
All right, love it. So we're going to start with a quick example for everybody. This is a pretty typical thing we see because one of the big myths about sales and construction is that if you want more results, you got to work harder, you got to do more, do more appointments, get more leads, put more money in, more marketing spend, more, right? I can't see you guys on video right now, but like raise your hand if you've heard that before, right? I got to do more, got to get as many appointments done as possible. So let's talk about that. What does that really look like? If you're in residential contracting sales and you're trying to do, 40 appointments in a month, that's 10 per week on top of everything else you got going on. You're probably not closing more than 25, 30% because you're just so busy. You're so busy going from one to the next, over here, over there, over here, over there. And you might be able to, if you had an average job size, you might be able to book about $100,000 in a month. Okay, decent. You're doing a lot of activity for that 100 grand. A lot of activity. You're not maximizing results, you're maximizing your own activity. So let's go to the next slide. Let's look at a different example. So what if you were doing 28 appointments in a month? That's 12 less appointments. That's at least 24 hours less in home. So an average of 7 per week instead of 10 per week at that same average job size. But because you're focused and because you're only meeting with the best people, your close rate jumps up to 45%. On that same average job size, you'd book 126 grand. So that's a 26% increase in revenue and results for 30% less work.
Dude, that's some powerful stuff. Because if I go back a slide, this to me seems like I'm rushing and I'm eating McDonald's to stay fueled. I'm bad habits. I'm coming home stressed out, coming home my 7, family life suffering. When your family is suffering, your energy suffers with the next appointment. You're rushing. You don't get, you don't spend the time with the clients you need. You're spending time with there's a lot of, multiple factors that negatively affect that sales rep, which negatively affects the company, which negatively affects the future of the entire brand. I mean, this is a big deal to look at. This slide here compared to this slide, 20%, 26% increase for 30% less work. And Chris, you were doing this.
I was this guy. I was absolutely this guy early in my career. I said, put my head down, said, I don't have anything going for me, but I'm just going to cling to this with everything I have. I'm going to work, and I'll book some of them. Hopefully. Right. And
then now you're this guy with margin in your life to be with your family, take care of your fitness and your health, and to even now coach the industry with SDG with your time, because of that's not possible if you didn't have these types of results, right?
Absolutely. And you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to do something new. So let's go to the next slide. Let's talk about the first big change we want to see all of you make. The magic tool The number one magic tool to make this happen, everybody, is setup calls. So let's do a quick example of what a typical setup call looks like. Ryan, you're going to be the customer. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, is this Ryan Groth?
Yes.
Hey, Ryan, this is Chris with Chris's Roofing. I'm just calling because you want an estimate for your roof. How's Friday at 3?
It's a little late. Can you do sooner?
Sure. How about Wednesday at 3?
Yeah, that works.
All right, cool. I'll see you then. Thanks. Bye. I know all of you on this webinar have made that call. I know it. And I get it, right? We're busy. You know, you're in the middle of stuff, especially if you're a sales leader or an owner. But even the frontline sales professionals, right? Like you're going. And the number one most important part of a setup call is you schedule the appointment, right? So we scheduled an appointment. But what do we not know? What do we not know? We don't even know if there's another homeowner, right? How are we going to thank you, Austin, in the chat for being real. I know everyone else could probably raise their hand too. You know, like you make that call and you feel good because you have an appointment set up, right? But you don't know anything, right? So Nick put in the chat, we don't know how old the roof is. We don't even know why they're replacing the roof, right?
And it could be painting, right? It could be siding. It could be landscaping. It's whatever, construction sales, trade sales, right?
Yeah, whatever your industry is, right? We don't know anything about the job. We don't know what their long-term plan for the home is. Eric, I love that. It's one of my top questions. We don't know if they need financing options, if they're going to pay cash. We don't know. Yeah, we don't know anything. And the customer also doesn't know anything because they don't know how long you're going to be there. They don't know what to expect when you arrive. They don't know how you're different from other contractors, right? Exactly. They literally don't know anything. So then what happens after you do that call, right? Again, just for you guys, raise your hands metaphorically. Has this ever happened where you showed up to an appointment and you knew the customer was qualified and then, 10 minutes in, they have to leave?
Mm-hmm.
Or you show up to the appointment and only one homeowner's there and you can't close it because you don't know what the other homeowner wants, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one-legger, Quinn, exactly. You're gonna have one-legged appointments left and right if you're making setup calls like that. You don't even know what the size of the job is. It might be too small for you to even want to do. It might be a little tiny dinky repair that's so far below your scope that you just wasted time driving an hour across town to go meet with this person whose job you don't even want. When if you had taken a little more time up front, you could have referred them, right? You could have been like, hey, that's not us, but here's someone who can help you. And now you're not driving across town at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, wasting time and gas. So this is one of the biggest things that we see people screw up across every industry, across almost every organization we work with. What you can do is you can start taking extra time to do a proper setup call before you show up, because that's going to save you time on the back end. You put in a little on the front and it saves you all this time on the back. That's how you go from doing 10 appointments a week to doing 7 appointments a week. And those 7, you're closing a hell of a lot more of them because you're only meeting with the right people.
But Chris, what about the customer service rep at the office or the person who takes the phone call? Shouldn't they have this conversation?
We think that, right? But again, their priority is to get it scheduled, right? Their priority is, hey, we got a lead. Perfect. We're going to get them scheduled. Even if they get some of that basic information, the frontline sales professional needs to do a follow-up call. Even if you have that appointment scheduled for you by someone in the office who nominally has gotten some of this information, if it's a front desk person, that person has a lot of other responsibilities. They're not a sales professional. They're a front desk professional, right? And so
what's wild is that customer can feel like, yes, this company is helping me, but it isn't really until the sales professionals on the phone talking to them where they feel like they're actually going to know exactly how they're going to be helped. And so there's something really, really powerful about the sales professional, the frontline sales professional, having the conversation, asking these questions, and being empowered organizationally to determine if they are to have that meeting with this prospective appointment or not.
And part of answering questions too, right? You know, the person might have questions they want to know. They might be testing you. They want to know what products you're using. What's your timeline? What does the process look like, right? So in our system, we have a really detailed template that can be applied across any trade to make sure that when you're showing up to appointments, 97% or more of them are pre-qualified, both homeowners, ready to rock. So you can actually close a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. And the thing is, going back to not having this, it's like, oh, I got an appointment. Oh, I feel excited. Now you have time spent, investment of energy. There's a big ripple effect of consequentially of even just agreeing to an appointment, even just agreeing to that you're going to go to one. There's a huge consequential ripple effect. So to be able to have this setup call is so important. So
time is
really
the one
powerful
thing we can't get back, right? Time is the one thing we're never getting back. So if you're going to appointments that are wasting your time, you're never getting that back. That's a huge obstacle to you living the life you want as a truly successful, powerful sales professional.
Totally. So much that happens, but this is step one. Everything on that we're talking about later, it starts with this, right? So let's talk about this real quick, Chris.
I love this slide.
Yeah.
So I actually was an STG client back in the day. So I was working, I was doing a project with Roofing 101, big roofing solar company. And we started doing the sales transformation stuff, and we were able to apply it into the residential space. And as you can see right there, I mean, I closed, an over $100,000 residential job, residential, not commercial, residential, using some of these key tactics from STG. And then later, right? Do you want to talk about the origin story, Ryan?
I think we should. I mean, and by the way, this is when my hair was long. You guys can see the old Facebook, picture I used to rock with the long hair.
Oh, but the flowing locks.
The flowing locks. But then, so Chris, yeah, you were like a shining star client. You were like, hey, look, I was like, this guy is doing the right thing. He's excellent. He's doing it. He's getting results. But then what happened from there was you won another sales award, naturally.
Yep, won a few of those. So I was the top salesman in the company that year. They actually paid to send me and my family on a trip to Maui, where lo and behold, one Ryan Groth is based out of. And Ryan and Ryan and his wife took me and my wife out to dinner, and we got connected. It was great. Time came when I moved on from Roofing 101, and me and Ryan reconnected. And we're like, hey, what can we do to really codify all of this to turn it into a very specific residential retail focus, right? Because that's where my background is. And I love everything that STG stands for and everything that Ryan teaches. And that's when we started to really jam.
Yeah. So what's cool is that, this is where it kind of came about with emphasis. And so I believe in Chris and what we're doing here. And so super excited. This is kind of how it all got started. So, all right. So part 2, Chris Wolf here, we got how to drive the sale forward, even if only one homeowner is present.
Okay. So again, go back to the previous example when we're doing the setup calls, right? Maybe you did a poor setup call. Maybe you did a really good setup call, because that'll happen too, right? And you go and you show up, you're all stoked. You're like, okay, I got this appointment. Both homeowners are going to be there. This is in one of my key neighborhoods. They're a referral. I'm totally ready to book this job. And then you show up and one homeowner's present. I know that's happened to that's happened to me a bunch of times. And a lot of times it's because I didn't do a good setup call. But even sometimes when you do a setup call really well and you set expectations and you need both homeowners there, it'll happen when you show up and only one's there. Now put this in the chat. Can you close jobs on the spot consistently with only one homeowner? Can you close jobs consistently on the spot with only one homeowner? Put in this chat. Tell me what you guys think. Pretty tough. Dan Precourt. Yes, absolutely. No, straight no from Wayne. Nope. Yep. Right. So we know this, right? We're in the residential retail market. We know that we need to get both homeowners. The vast majority of our customers are going to be married or have a, girlfriend or boyfriend that's part of the decision, or even if they're older and, their spouse has died, but then their kid is going to help them make the decision, right? The point is we need all decision makers there to actually close the deal. But sometimes we find ourselves at an appointment without both homeowners. So what do you do? Let's put that in the chat. What do? Do you just plow ahead? You just keep going? You're like, well, hell with it. I was hoping they would both be here, but they're not. What happens when you do that? I got one person, Gino, saying keep going. Okay. I admire your determination. So I'm here to tell you there's actually a better way. So bow out gracefully. Darren, that's an interesting one. I would say there's a middle ground, right? So one of the things that we're kind of balancing, right, is do you just cut it off right at the beginning? You say, hey, nope, this ain't gonna work. See you later. Or do you plow ahead and hope to book it on the callback? Maybe after they've talked about it with their spouse and they've gotten 4 other bids and hopefully your bid stands out, maybe. No, there's a better way. Let's go to the next slide, Ryan. Okay, boom, there we go. So one of the things that we're gonna teach to everybody at STG is there's multiple parts, right? Residential sales appointment, you're gonna have an inspection, and then you're gonna have the pitch. 2 parts. Ideally, we're going to do them all together in one 2-hour appointment. We're going to walk out with a signed contract and a check. That would be perfect. However, in this scenario, we've already talked about this, right? You showed up, there's only one homeowner present. So what can we do that's going to keep the relationship and keep the value and keep the company in the forefront of the customer's mind? We're actually going to do the inspection first. Because if you show up and only one homeowner's there and you're like, nah, thanks, peace, let's reschedule, it's going to leave a little bit of a bad taste in the homeowner's mouth, even if it's their fault, right? Even if they told you both homeowners are going to be there and they lied to you and only one's there, you still have to be professional. So what you're going to do is you're going to complete your inspection. You're going to ask your questions. You're going to get your pictures, your videos, your measurements. You're going to show that you're serious, that you're professional, that you're there to do business. And then after you've gotten your inspection complete, then you're going to take the time to talk to the homeowner that's there and set up an additional time later to come back and do the pitch meeting. You're going to set a time later to come back and do the pitch meeting. Because Ryan, what happens when we come back prepared with the results of the inspection, a printed out bid, and both homeowners are there?
I mean, you have what's cool is that you still have the tension, the leverage, where they don't know your price and what your solution looks like yet. But you've also kind of leveraged the fact that you need both homeowners there. So they don't know that that's not your process. They could say, hey, you need to take your time to go gather your estimate, anyway. So they could respect that and feel like it's natural. But then so now you're in a position to hear where they're at, get both people to weigh in and be able to make any iterations on the fly if necessary, and have a better chance of helping them really solve the problem or fulfilling the dream job that they're hoping for.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Great question, Joe, in the chat. I'd say absolutely. Try to schedule far enough out that they've gotten any other bids already at that point if they're going to get multiple bids. That's just a little side note. But yeah, I mean, ideally, in a perfect scenario, when everything's going great, you're going to do your inspection and your pitch together, same meeting, all the way through. You're going to walk away with a signed contract. But if that doesn't happen, don't just plow ahead. So I'm seeing a few people, Quinn, you mentioned you try to do that. You see some spots in the schedule. Gino, I see your question in the chat. If they do it to you again, I mean, there's not a lot you can do about it at that point. You're going to probably just have to try to go through with it, but you can try to schedule a time for a callback to talk to them. There's a lot of sub bullets to this, just trying to give you guys the overview today to make the most change, the biggest impact.
Yeah.
But what I really like about this too is you take control of the process. So even though the homeowner threw a curveball at you, right, you have a way to deal with it. And honestly, I mean, a lot of contractors won't even give them a bid on the spot anyways. That's one of the things that differentiates us when our process is going smoothly, is we can do it all together. But a lot of contractors are just going to email a bid later anyways. And if you're one of those contractors who emails bids later, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully we can make some changes in your process to grow your success. I can tell you right now, you're going to have a way lower close rate. Gino, thank you for being honest. I know you're not the only one. We got 160 people on this call, and I bet 158 of them have emailed a bid, and just said, oh, well, I'll just email the bid, see what happens. So it's important that we get back in front of people, because what's going to sell is you and that in-person connection, right? So we're going to talk about that more for our third training point today. But if you show up and there only one homeowner's there, take control of that process, do the beginning of your process, and then reset a new meeting to come back and pitch and close later.
Love it. Super valuable right there. So setup call, how to drive the sale forward, even if only one homeowner is present. Really powerful stuff, really fundamental stuff. We can get into the weeds and more details, but really, really solid content to make the most change. So now let's talk about the third part, as to how to get out of the endless follow-up trap that kills momentum. So let's talk about that now.
Great. So Ryan, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What do you think works better, closing in person or closing over the phone?
Closing in person, I would say.
Why is that?
There's a lot of communication that's conveyed in person, like the nonverbal, the body language, both to the homeowner and from the homeowner, to help get the deal done, I'd say. And yeah, I think that's the biggest, is communication and being able to navigate the deal.
Right. Exactly. I like what Eric put in the chat. Also, you're hitting more of the senses, right? So it's the same thing, right? Obviously, a rhetorical question there, or closing over a computer screen, same thing. So my question to the group: why do we keep making endless phone calls trying to close open opportunities when we know that it's better to close in person than close over the phone? Why do I take my head and keep smashing it against the wall over and over again, expecting things to change? Right? It's crazy, but we all do it. I know every single person who's been in sales for longer than a week has some story of some customer. They call, oh no, they said to call on Tuesday, and I called on Tuesday and they didn't pick up, and I called on Friday, and then they called me next week, and then they said give me a month, and this and over, and you have this bank of people you're just calling over and over and over again, right? It's so frustrating. Oh, it makes me mad just to think about it. So let's talk about what we can do. Let's go to the next slide, Ryan.
I mean, that's just for a second though. Like, the reason why I think a lot of this is you don't really have an optimal next step that's great for you and for them. You can't really help them if they don't work with you. So you think you're helping them when they ask you to call them at the time that, like, so you're believing this like lie that they're being helped when they ask you to call them, because that's what they're asking you to do. But in fact, you're not actually able to help them because they don't buy from you when they do that. They're not going to buy. And so you're not actually helping them anyway. So it's like, it's this weird place where salespeople can just feel like they're doing their best to be helpful and doing their job, but it doesn't get results and nobody gets helped. And so it's like, that's why sales can be so frustrating. So this could be a trap where you're doing what you think is right. You think it's right. That's the tough part. Like, you're so energized by doing what you think is right, but then if it doesn't turn into like you winning and you being successful. So I can see
you put all this time in, right? You put all this time in to go to their house, to diagnose their problems, to prepare a quote, to share with them, to try to solve and complete what they need, right? To give them what they need. And then it's just like, you're just waiting. You're like, okay, well, I put all this time in and hopefully it comes back.
Right.
Hopefully, maybe it's just a few more calls and I'll get them.
Yeah,
right.
It's wild. You're hitting it right on the head. So let's talk about what we do.
All right. So similar to what we talked about on the last step, where we're going to schedule a time to come back, we got to find a reason to get back in front of the prospect. Now, sometimes it's really obvious, and sometimes you got to get a little more creative. So like a great example, color samples. You're there, you're at the bid, and you're presenting, you're pitching to them, and they ask you for color samples, or and you don't have exactly everything they want right there with you. That's a great opportunity to schedule a time to come back. Or, even after the appointment, like, yeah, we'll call you in a week or two, or call us in a month, whatever. Then you're once you get that, right, you're on the track, you're heading towards the endless follow-up. But then you veer back the other way a couple days later, or a week or two later, and you call them up and say, hey, it's Chris with Chris's Painting. I just wanted to let you know, I'm going to be in the neighborhood on Thursday. I could drop off those samples for you. Are you going to be around? Boom. Now we're back in front of them.
Instead of making, multiple calls for multiple months on the phone, that's a waste of time. You're just spending a little bit more time on one more meeting. So to create a higher chance of conversion, rather than spending more time on a lower chance of conversion doing another activity.
Yep, exactly. Because you're capitalizing on work you've already done. And it could be anything, right? Like, oh, hey, I just want to come back and double check my measurements on the rear of the house. Or, oh, I had a couple technical questions to go over with you. Any sort of reason for you to get back in front of them. Then you're back. And then they're reconnecting with how much they like you, how much they respect you. They appreciate the extra effort that you're going to above and beyond, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Eric, I forgot a tool up on the roof. I got to come back. Absolutely. These are all great excuses. And some of them are legit, right? Like the colors or whatever. Like, it's like, I'm trying to help you, but then you're back, right? Then you can talk to them about their objections. There's been time since the previous appointment, right? And with time comes comfort. Then you can kind of get back into it. What's holding you back? What are your concerns? You can see what they're concerned about from your conversations. You can bring stuff. You can bring examples of your work, right? There's all these different things you can do. But then the key part is then you're in person. Then you're talking directly with them, right? And then you can actually handle those objections, sign the contract, walk away. Their problem is solved. They're happy. And then one last little detail. I mean, if you come back 2 weeks later, they've probably already got their other bids, right? They're ready to make a decision at that point.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good. So let's talk about like those 3 steps. How's it been able to impact your business, Chris?
Yeah. So, I mean, for me personally, right, everyone wants to know, how does it work in the real world? So, I'm a full-time coach and sales professional with STG, but on the side, I run my own business here in the Seattle area, and using the tactics and techniques that we've talked about, and, some other stuff as well in the Residential Sales Accelerator program. I've already closed over $900,000 this year, and I've spent less than 1/3% on ad spend.
So that's like, you're not doing 900K with, a bunch of money you're spending on Google ads. I mean, this is $3,000 of marketing and on the side with this process. And you have the time to have a family and do this. Like, that's what a repeatable, reliable process that can help you grow organically year over year. I mean, you used to be a 22% guy.
Oh yeah, when I first started, 22, I'd be happy if it was 22%.
And you had a 13% teen closing ratio at one point.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
But now, right? Now, years later, with these tactics and techniques, this is what we can deliver.
I mean, at the end of the day, imagine that you have each of your sales reps already closing 900K in May. You're
on May 3rd.
May 3rd. May the 4th. Yeah. So now it's Star Wars Day and we're at almost 1 million. And imagine that. I mean, each of your reps doing that and not having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars a month to fill their calendars up. That's powerful stuff, guys. That is powerful stuff. So here's what we covered so far. how to increase your sales by working less, how to drive the sale forward even if only one homeowner is present, and how to get out of the endless follow-up trap that kills momentum. Very powerful stuff. This is just like three basic components.
High level bird's eye view.
Yeah, and these fundamentally are breaking down what a lot of people are currently doing today, even at scale, which means that they're wasting tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars a year in opportunity costs or inefficiency costs.
And so, time wasted.
Yeah, time wasted. Yeah, cool. Love it. So has your time on this training been well spent so far? Let us know in the chat. We have about 60 or so people in attendance. Has this been valuable? Let us know in the chat. Gino, thank you, my brother. Yes, sir. Thanks. Edgar, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's good. Caesar, Joey.
Major notes. Nice.
Austin, that's great. Brock, you're the man. Thank you, Dan. Good. Quinn, appreciate it. Bailey, super helpful. If this has been helpful, good. This is good. Awesome sauce. That's what I'm talking about. Great. So look, you have two options, right? We have a few minutes left, guys. Say at the top of the hour. We have two options. Option one, take what we've taught, hear it to yourself, take a stab at it yourself, and try to get it working for yourself. That's completely fine. But we have another option. The other option is, what if we personally helped, coached, and mentored you through the entire process? What if we took an active role in your results and worked with you to help you achieve this for yourself? Option one, totally cool. Option two. All right, so if you need help, we have what we've now introducing today. This is our first time in a webinar publicly sharing this, a residential sales accelerator program with my friend Chris Wolf. All right, so if you need help and you want
this market,
specifically for this market, so Gino, hang tight. We're going to give you a chance to get the next step. So this is actually filmed. This has been filmed. Chris and I, he was on his vacation in Maui, brought his wife and kids, stayed at our guest home, and this is literally in our guest home in Hawaii. So you feel right at home when you're in this program, going through this program. But phenomenal program for the residential retail market, construction sales, painting, custom homes, roofing, windows, doors, home exteriors, home interiors, kitchen and bath, right? That's, they're paying with their money.
We even have insurance related. We even have a client who sells Christmas light installs and window washing.
Totally. So we put this program together because construction sales change your life, Chris, right? Turn you from feeling useless, aimless, even substance abuse. I mean, look, these stories are common in the construction space, and you, Chris, are exactly what we want to see happen at thousands of people in this industry, is feel purpose, feel successful as a husband, man, and a father, as a professional, contributor in a community, and like anybody in this residential market can have this kind of success. And we want to help others achieve that. And that's why we're doing this, right, Chris?
Absolutely. Anyone can do this. It's repeatable, it's scalable.
So here's what this could do for you. It can increase your closing ratio if you join our residential sales accelerator program. You can have an increase of your average job size and average commission, give you referrals through the roof, light a fire under your sales team and increase accountability, get it more organized and have an efficient weekly workflow, create excellent work-life balance, build confidence in yourself, know your why, have a clear path to reach it. So you need three things to be successful: a detailed yet simplified training, support, coaching, and accountability, and shortcuts. I'm going to speed up that process. So here's what's included: a proven sales system for retail contractors. We do a custom sales evaluation for you and your team to show you exactly how you need to get better as a sales professional. We help you with sales leadership training, team communication, sales and marketing automation pieces. We have a tech stack and things that we recommend. Professionalizing your sales force through coaching and support, and an amazing community and support from other growth-minded contractors. So we have some results here. B Walcott Construction, these guys crushed it, was doing residential. They went from 600 to 4 million. what it was painting. If you guys haven't seen us long enough, you know that Toby's been a great client. He grew 60% last year. Guy's a monster in painting. Love Toby. Great guy. Blaine was one of our first customers at STG, a retail contractor. They grew from 3 to 7.5 million. And we want you to be next. We want you to be next. So here's your personal invitation to book a free strategy session, a strategy call. So you're going to get a one-on-one consultation, customized feedback on your results, and insight in developing your business. So you could scan right here for that. Okay.
Definitely take advantage of this. The free strategy call is money.
Yes. And what's really cool is we have a fast action bonus from this webinar. The first 10 people to join the Residential Sales Accelerator get free tickets to the Transform Conference. So this is a big deal. You'll be seeing a lot of this if you follow us. The Transform Conference is going to happen in October. It is our big annual event. We go deep, both personally and professionally. We're going to have an amazing event. You guys, if you sign up for the Residential Sales Accelerator, you join our growing community that we're launching now with Chris Wolf at the helm and our team, then you have tickets to the conference. So I want you to do this. This is scan here. This is for you if your close ratio is lower than you like. Scan here. If you're working 12 to 14-hour days and not getting the ROI you want, scan here. You have a sales team and you want to take them to the next level, scan here. You don't have a sales team and want to invest in yourself so that then you can start hiring and building your sales team, you can scan here. The conference is in October at the Dallas at the Four Seasons. You've tried chasing short-term money, and now you want the foundation for long-term potential. Scan here. This is for you. If you quoted a lot of work without properly training yourself or your team, you tried hiring sales trainers in the past, but you couldn't get past the unprofessionalism or goofy techniques or their whatever it was. It just wasn't the right fit. Okay, you just tried it and it didn't work. You struggle to get steady, private, relational retail work, and you're tired of wearing all the hats and want to start watching things unravel the minute you stop. As soon as you stop, things unravel. Scan here if that's you. That's for you. Scan here for the next call. We have another company, Moss Roofing. These guys out of Indianapolis, they came on a while ago. They massive jump. This stuff works, guys. This is real. So if all this did for you was help you learn retail sales faster with expert guidance, would it be worth a free call? All right. If you find, train, and retain salespeople who generate new opportunities by themselves, if all that did for you is that, would it be worth a free call? And if all this did for you was take advantage without worrying about your business falling apart, would it be worth a free call? All right. So scan here if that's you. Scan here. If all this did for you was increased profitability with less work and more automation, would it be worth a free call? To help you build your legacy so you could sell the business one day or pass it on to family, would it be worth a free call? Give your team the support and systems to thrive under your leadership. If all it did for you was that, would it be worth a free call? Scan here, book that call. So one-on-one consultation, get customized feedback on your goals. You'll have insights from us to develop and grow your business. Plus, again, fast action bonus, super exciting. First 10 people to join the Residential Sales Accelerator get tickets to our conference in October in Dallas. We're going to have some amazing things happening at that conference. It's our big deal event of the year. Got to be there. Got to be there. Yeah. Scan it up. Let's book it. Awesome. Yeah, Chris, super glad you joined us today. Super glad you joined us today.
Oh, yeah.
So it's pretty straightforward. You scan it, the discovery call shows up, you pick the date for this call, rather, you pick the time, and then you enter your info and schedule. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Chris, so good to do this with you, man.
Oh, dude, this has been awesome. I really appreciate working with you, Ryan. You and I share a lot of the same beliefs, and especially around sales as a vehicle for people to change their lives and to live better lives. So hopefully this has been helpful to everybody. Definitely scan the link, book your free call. Looks like Charles, I think Charles already did. Good job, Charles. think we got a few more already streaming in. This has been awesome. Kaylin, Joe.
Brock, thank you.
Nice.
Kaylin, Joe, Charles, thank you guys. Good.
We're really excited to work with you and help you take your businesses to the next level while having work-life balance.
Totally. While having work-life balance. So good. Book it. Any Q&A, guys? We have a few minutes. Does anybody have a question for us, for Chris, for myself at STG? Anybody have a question for us as you guys are peeling off? Any questions?
Drop in the chat.
Yeah, drop in the chat. That's the way to go. You can ask in the Q&A section here of the Zoom app.
Oh, looks like we got one. All right, so Carlos, do I count all the leads? No. So leads to appointments is going to be a different ratio. We can talk about making sure that ratio is tight as well. When I'm talking about closing ratio, I'm talking about the people you actually meet with.
It's good.
Brian, I love it. Enjoy the Kool-Aid, brother. And we got a question from Nathan. Will this work if you're just getting started? Absolutely. If you're just getting started, you should do all of this right now, right off
Save you a lot of time.
Save yourself so much time and energy and headache. Don't go learn it the hard way. Start doing it the right way from the beginning.
Good.
Charles,
Chris, got a question.
Yeah, we got weekly calls already going as part of the STG program. Definitely book your strategy call, get in on it. Katie, thanks for the feedback. I'm glad it's been entertaining. We try to keep it fun.
Yeah, we have, personalized coaching, personalized evaluation, systems and processes implemented, reinforcement coaching, accountability, world-class training. That is the secret sauce. Secret sauce. It's powerful. So much more. That it has a massive compound effect on your business and your life. I love this industry. It could change lives. When the vehicle of sales and the business is dialed in, you have freedom. And at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want freedom. We want to be able to live a great life. We got one shot on this earth, right? To live. At least I think, unless you believe in reincarnation or something. Which
even if you do, you gotta enjoy this time.
Even if you have 5 of them, it's right.
You gotta be peaceful. You gotta be happy. So you can whatever your priorities are, right? That's what I love about sales. We can have the success, and we can have, we know people that love to go fishing with all their free time. We know a lot of people that love to spend time with their kids and coach their kids' baseball teams. Or, I was just working with a client last week, and he's saying, "Man, I'm loving having all this free time. I got back into painting, like artistic painting." He sent me this picture of like birds flying over a hill and all this stuff. I was like, "Good for you, dude."
So good. That's great. And having a system and process will help you get there.
That is how you get there.
It is how you get there. Like, it is the only way to get there. And you can go sell cars. You can go try to make money on Bitcoin, which you could still do. You got to have a vehicle to make money, to give you time and freedom, right? That's the vehicle. And construction sales is where it's at. Retail is such a powerful way to get there. And having this system and this process will change your business and your life. And that's why we're doing this. This is all about impact, all about growth. And that's why Chris has joined us. So really, really honored to have you here, Chris. I know we're going to help a lot of people, as we already are, together. I'm really hopeful that the people here join. They come to the Transform conference, and they ultimately get the sales increase that they're hoping for, the way you have. More with less.
More with less, man. That's the way.
It's the way. Great. Well, we're going to end on time, everyone. So
Good
thank
job,
you,
everybody.
guys. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you the next time, and have a good one.
Thanks, Ryan. See you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye, guys.